Light is good. So light magic will be considered good, right? Opposite. Remember I told you they lied to us about everything. They told you left is right when right is really left. Okay? So you have to understand that anytime an individual uses magic for bad, their esophagus to produce negative results, that's light magic. Write this down, take notes. Anytime a soul or spirit, a god or a human being, uses their esophagus, which is the number one instrument used to produce magic for good or bad, because the esophagus is what class? An instrument, not a muscle. It's an organ. Right? You could think all day, but for it to manifest, you're going to have to verbalize it and use your esophagus. That's magic. Right? That's why McDonald's, they had the song singing, do you believe in magic? And I hope you do. What are they singing? They producing a vibration. They were using the esophagus. What does Hollywood use to reel the whole world into their bullshit? Music. That's why they said Lucifer and Satan is what? Lucifer, who was the prince of the army, is what? The angel of music. Because through the music, he used that to trick you. Because nobody has a more powerful esophagus than a singer or a rapper or a preacher. Think about it. Anybody, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, rappers, singers, what's the one thing they got in common to pull people in? Their esophagus. It's their voice. This is an organ. Think of it as like the number one tool you need when you're using magic. You can think it all day, but you have to say it for the spell to work. You have to say it out loud for the spell to work. So, anytime an individual, and like I say, if you're not using magic, then magic is being used on you. This is no way around it, and we're going to keep getting deeper. I'm going to tell you how. But let's keep going. We're on the basics right now. Anytime a soul or a god or a human being uses their magic, because your magic is your magnetism and your electricity. Anytime a god or a human being uses their magnetism or electricity for a negative, to produce negative results, that is light magic. If a god uses their magnetism, their magic or electricity to produce good results, that's dark magic. Okay. So also, human beings are not able to use dark magic at all. Why? Because now we get the difference between dark magic and light magic. Okay. Light magic is a recessive way to use magic. Light magic is used by Satan in them. Satan, Zeus and his fallen army, the fallen angels, because they were kicked out. Once we whipped their ass here on planet Kai, they were completely cut off from headquarters. This is how they lost what they call their wings. All right? Because they were cast away from us. So when they were cast away from us, all key codes, all key cards was deleted. They have access to nothing that they anciently had access to. Okay? So they are the father of light magic. Okay? Human beings do not have ancestors because they were created in a petri dish. They are single cell organisms. So they cannot use dark magic even if they wanted to. They have no protection. When you dealing with magic and you start calling in ancestors and you're starting to tap into these realms, you are letting in powerful energies that you need protection for if you are not have a carbon or non-ether being. One of the main, think of it as passing through a gate. Right? When a person goes to do their spell work, or a person goes to contact their ancestors or contact spirit guides and all of that, you need a VIP pass, or your ass ain't getting in. Well, guess what? Just having carbon in your skin makes you a non-ether being. You automatically got a VIP pass. That's automatic protection to dwell in these energies. Okay? If you lack carbon in your skin, you're not an ancient being. So you will need protection. Okay? So this is why when human beings go to use magic, they have to draw. They make what's called the 5-point star: fire, earth, air, water, plasma, energy. Human beings don't have plasma. They don't have that. We have that. But they have to draw that emblem because that's what it represents. And then they circle that emblem with a circle. Go watch Supernatural. Go watch The Craft. Any of your little witchcraft movies. We had 1,800 live viewers. Peace to the guys and goddesses on a Friday. I see y'all in here learning. We in here learning late. But notice that any of these movies, when human beings, they sit in that star and they have a circle around it. And you never knew why. That circle is to protect them. Go watch Lovecraft Country. They drew the circle around the star. That's the protection ring. If they go outside of the circle, they have no protection. Okay? And they can be destroyed immediately. Right? Now, can human beings, because they don't have ancestors, can they still do good forms of magic? Yeah, they can do like a poor man's version of dark magic. Why? Because if a human being puts in a good spell, that would be like a poor man's version of dark magic. So their spell would work, but it wouldn't be as powerful as ours would if you used to do the same spell. Also, because they are using the spell to produce positive energy, all right, that would help them moving forward to do more spells. Because you're using elements. Each element, that's why I said when you're talking magic, you have to have an awareness of the planet. Each element is alive. The fire is its own entity. The water is its own entity. The air, the wind is its own entity. And the soil is her own entity. All 4 entities you calling in when you're using magic. When you're using magic, you have to call in everything. I am everything and everything is me. You're calling everything in. The herbs. Anybody with an altar to do magic gonna let you know they're gonna always use the sage. And different sages have different results. All right? Certain sages is for protection. Certain sages is to drive spirits away. Certain sages is to pull spirits in. Certain sages is to help with manifesting and use the esophagus to make your spell more powerful. This is the fact. All right? But when a human being goes to use this magic, whether they trying to produce negative or bad results, they're going to have to sit in that circle. They're going to have to 5-point star, draw that, and sit in that circle. All right? And that gives them like a VIP pass to use the magic, to tap into the electromagnetic frequencies of the realm, because that's really what you're doing. Because whatever you think and speak, it'll manifest only because you are connected to it. So you're tapping into the frequencies of the planet. You got to understand, why do spells even work? That's because you are tapping into the frequencies, the electricity and magnetism. Everything you see around you is just pixels. Electrical light codes. So, for example, me sitting in this room is nothing but a little electrical blocks that I've manifested. Me sitting right here on live with y'all, these are electrical grids, right? They can be altered at any given time. This is what past, present, and future is. They can be altered with what? The mind. Why? Because the mind is the center of these electrical codes. The thalamus gland, to be exact. The thalamus gland. Okay? That sits right in the middle of your brain. So we are the anomalies because the codes are within us. 9 ether beings. Okay? So if a human being goes to use magic and they start getting sage and they don't have ancestors, so they have to draw that 5-point star and circle it. And that's their protection. The elements and plasma energy. Although they don't have connection to these things, by drawing the 5, this is why they draw the 5-point star and circle it. By drawing the 5-point star, they are paying homage to the elements and plasma energy, which is how all creation came in about. But who created the elements and who created the plasma energy? We did. I'm explaining to you why they use it. Any human being that's really deep into magic, they're going to tell you that. They're going to draw a 5-point star and they're going to circle it, and then they're going to go to do their rituals. We don't have to do that. I just go right here to my ancestors. Make my altar, go to my ancestors, write it down, say it out loud, thus it shall be. I'm already protected because I have a VIP pass. All right? That's without knowing the science. That's just trying it. Why do you think we use magic all day? Like I said, you're using magic all day or magic is being used on you. When you speak in your words all day, that's magic. That's all magic. Now, it's going to be dark matter, dark magic, or light magic. If you're saying a bunch of negative shit out your mouth, knowing that you are the grand architect, you are the anomaly, you are the master mason, you are the master magician, you are the creator, you are the alpha and omega of all creation. So if you use your words to say negative things, that's light magic. And that's what you're going to produce. Negative results. You the master magician, you the ancient one. And if you use your words, your esophagus, remember, it's passing through this organ. So don't think of words. It's this organ you're using, this organ called the esophagus. And they'll never tell you this in no book. They'll never put this shit in no book. They ain't going to tell you that. Why your words are even impactful. Because your esophagus, which is connected to your heart chakra, which is connected to your solar chakra. Okay? So if you use your words, because your words come from your soul, your intent comes from the soul. It comes from the soul and works its way up to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is connected directly to the esophagus. And each chakra is what? Many magnets that rotate. Plus you have a huge magnet called your soul, which sits behind your solar plexus. All right? So think of like a little gear in front and a big ass gear behind that. But these magnets though. And if you use your words, you got carbon in your skin, you use your words to produce good things. You say positive things. Peace, God. Peace, goddess. This is why you're supposed to greet people with positive praise. This is why you should say positive stuff. You're now using dark magic, which is the most powerful form of the magic because it's the original magic. For we never said negative things to each other. Why do you think anciently we praised one another? We didn't pray to no God outside of ourselves. We seen each other and praised each other. On how good that lapis lazuli looked on us, on how good we built them crystal pyramids, on how we just created these new animals on the new planets we created, on the new plants that we seeded into the soil. We praised each other because that was dark magic, and it raises the frequency of the planet. Whereas light magic keeps it low because it's being used in reverse. Okay, so now you have witches. You have wizards. A warlock is another one name for a wizard. This is why wardens are called wardens in jails. Because a warden is a witch, but he's a male witch. And the term warden comes from warlock, male witch. Warden, warlock, wizard. These are all male witches who are using light magic. So that means they are using these electromagnetic energies to produce negative results on the planet. A witch is a female who's using these electromagnetic frequencies to produce negative results on the planet. So if you're a human being, woman, or a goddess, if you use your electromagnetic frequencies, your esophagus, to create negative results on the planet, that makes you a witch. Okay? Witches use magic for bad. Witches are women or goddesses that use magic for bad. Wizards, warlocks, and wardens are male witches. Okay? This is why the KKK, that was light magic. Those were rituals they were doing. And this is why the leader of the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, is called what? The Grand Wizard. All right? The Grand Wizard. The true reason they wore capes over their faces was not to hide themselves. Ask yourself this. Nigga, they sitting here and enslaved our people. All right? I'm talking about at the point when the KKK was riding up on niggas with hoodies. At that point, they enslaved our people already, right? So why the fuck would they be scared to show their face? Think about it. They said the KKK wore hoodies to hide their face. Why would they wear hoodies to hide their face if they already run the shit? What if they show their face? What the slave gonna do? Come up to the job the next day and whip their ass? No. The mask was part of the ritual. The burning of the cross, ritual. Circling people's houses, throwing bricks in their houses. Think about that. Why would they circle their house? And then throw a brick at their house and shoot in the air to produce fear. They could just run in the house and kill them. They didn't do it like that. They would scare them with the shit first, then kill them. That was all ritual because they were practicing light magic. The emblem on they little all white uniforms, the mask, the burning of the cross, the terrorizing you by circling your house with 20 niggas on horseback in the middle of the night. They used to come to your house in the middle of the night, especially if you was a black person who owned a business or something. They come to your house in the middle of the night, wake you up out your sleep. Why did they come in the daytime? Why they always came at night? Because they want to catch niggas when they was fresh in the astrals, in between realms. That's what the police do. When the marshals or the police go to your crib, they come early AM or some shit when they know your ass sleep. Why? Because they catching you in between realms. You get woken up. That's gonna fear you right there. Just oh shit, you just get startled up. It's to produce fear, to produce adrenochrome. This is a ritual. I'm breaking down the ritual what the KKK was doing to us and our people. Why did they was hanging us on trees? Because they understood our divine connection to the trees. They would hang you on a tree and then burn you to death. Why is that? That was all ritual. That was all light magic. And the more of that they did, it produced more fear in the community. Which did what? Lower the vibration. Which made the slaves do want to what? Not rebel as much. Be scared to run away. They would drag the intelligent God, the slave that wanted to speak up, like myself, they'll pull me out in front of the whole village. Fuck me in front of my wife, my son, my daughter. Then whoop my ass in front of all of y'all. And then kill me in front of all of y'all. Why they ain't just take me somewhere to the side and do it? To produce more fear. Right? Because fear is what? A form of light magic that they are tapping into. This is what you gotta understand. This is what you gotta understand. Fear is a form of light magic they're tapping into. Ritual. So, dark magic is all positive. Dark magic is all positive. All right? It doesn't require anything where you have to try to dominate the next individual to create. Dark magic, we strictly about protecting ourselves and creating positive results to boost up the frequency of the planet. That's dark magic. If we made a spell anciently, it was to create new animals, to create new shrooms, shrubs, herbs to help heal us, to help heal the planet. Where do you think all these herbs and plants come from? Most of your plants and animals that are here, they can't even explain to you where they came from. That's where the whole fucking theory of the Big Bang come from. Because they didn't want to be honest with you and say, I'm going to be real with y'all. Y'all ancestors was some fucking master magicians who created everything from scratch. Like, they would say it and it would just appear. That's how all this shit got here. We spoke it and it appeared. We created it and it appeared. We created the planets. We created the galaxies. All of that shit. We just spoke it. Because we was tapping into source, into the dark matter, energy within us, the dark magic, the ancient ones. Thus we are. And remember, it's all about your intent. Our heart chakra was pure. So our intent was pure, making the magic more powerful. This is dark magic we talking about. The most powerful form of magic. Dark magic. It's only used to create, to help make the planet better or to protect ourselves and our species. Dark magic. All of your animals, all of your plants, all of this stuff that got here, it just we spoke it right into, and thus it was. This is a fact. Go research evolution. None of this shit, that's where it evolved. Go research evolution. They can't tell you where none of this shit came from. They know. They just don't want to tell you. So instead of telling you, they say, oh, it was a big bang, boom, everything just happened, and then everything evolved. Everything came crawling out the water. They can't tell you where none of these animals come from. They're still discovering animals to this motherfucking day. Every time you look up, they're discovering a new species. Every time you look up, they are discovering a new species. Are they or are they not? Yes. Why are they still discovering new plant species, new animal species, new insect species? Why? Because all of this shit is here and they don't know nothing. And they can't tell you where it came from and how it got here. So it's much easier to say, hey, it was a big bang and then everything just came. That's what they tell you. It was a big bang, boom. And then everything clustered together and life began. No, it did not go like that. We were using dark magic to create everything you see and everything that you don't see. And this is why so many species under the ocean that they don't know shit about. So many insects, birds, animals they don't even know about. They still discovering shit. Like the post I post on Instagram and the post I post on this website. That's a siren. Motherfucker told me Fiji mermaid. This ain't no goddamn mermaid. The mermaids and mermen look like us. With fish tails at the end. That's too small to be a mermaid or a merman. But in that museum at Clearwater Marine Aquarium that we went to, I posted the picture right here in the blog and on the web and on Instagram. They have her listed as a Fiji mermaid. Lies, because they don't know shit about our realm. We are magical beings who have used dark magic to create everything. So they can't tap that far. They like, oh shit, what the fuck? We don't know what this is. We knew about this, but it's some more shit. This is why they stay under the ocean. This is why they stay under the ground. All right? So you got to understand that that's dark magic. All right? And dark magic is the most powerful form of magic. This is why if somebody like, let me use YP for example. He's under a spiritual attack. MK Ultra as well. And because he's under that, right? Because he's under that, you see him doing all this weird, crazy shit. Because he has no spiritual protection. He not in tune with his ancestors and all that. He was big into the Egyptian theology. But the Egyptian theology, we are so much more advanced than that. And majority of the Egyptian theology, they start mixing up our shit from ancient Kemet and putting out all this bullshit about us, not really letting us tap into source of the dark magic. All right, you have to tap in with your ancestors. You have to tap in with these Orishas. You have to tap in with these angelic forces within you and these demonic forces within you. You have to tap in with that. That's all you. YP wasn't doing that, right? So now you see him going through this. He's able to be attacked from them because of that. And on the outside, you see people trying to clown him, make fun of him, say he's crazy. And that ain't what happened. You know what I'm saying? Nobody just does that. He's under attack, and now they're using light magic to let entities into him. Because with MK Ultra, once they get your avatar, then they can let anybody in. And that's what you see. That's what you see. All right? But he stopped at Egypt. He should have went deeper, right? He would have gone deeper, would have showed him like, okay, I have to connect to my ancestors because it don't stop in no goddamn Egypt. Before pharaohs, we was gods, right? So you see the light magic at play, right? And I'm going to dive deeper to what the light magic is right now. Space is light magic. I'm telling you, this is all space. There's no such thing as space. Where there is space, there is energy. Where there is energy, there is life. I repeat, they taught you it's space. Like right now, space between me and this phone. It's no space. Where there is space, there is energy. Where there is energy, there is life. That's all light magic. Time. The belief in time. that has you counting birthdays, celebrating years, counting years. Light magic. Negative energy. Light magic spell. That's light magic. The belief in space, the belief in time. Light magic. Being used on you. The alphabets, the words. All the words have been contorted for you to curse your days. Instead of saying GM, you should be saying Grand Rising. Instead of saying understand, you should be saying I overstand or understand, because you don't stand under anything. Okay? When you say you understand, you now put whatever it is that you say you understand above you. So that's a form of light magic. The words, light magic. The shape of the house, light magic. The cloth that we are forced to wear, light magic. Because this constricts your electricity. Light magic. Making you cut your ether off. Light magic. Cast belief, fear is light magic. The colors they using when you're watching Netflix and you're watching TVs, light magic. This is all forms of light magic. Every single thing around you is damn near light magic. The skyscrapers that block out the sun, the fake clouds, light magic. All these telephone poles around you, that's tampering with your electricity. Light magic. This cell phone I'm holding in my hand that is literally designed to alter your cells, which is why it's called a cell phone. Light magic. The monetary system is a form of light magic, because now you believe in that without this money, you can't attain anything. That's light magic. But if you was into dark magic, you could literally use a form of dark magic called prosperity magic to will to you whatever it was that you wanted in this material realm. But because you are not tapped into dark magic, you have no understanding of prosperity magic. You don't have an understanding of what crystals to use and what things to say with the esophagus to open up those vortexes around you to wield the prosperity to you. The whole telling that when they told you it's a dog eat dog world, that's light magic. Because they told you that to create what's known as competition. And the creation of competition is what has divided us. You don't have to compete with nobody, not even yourself. But because they told you that, they taught you that, you feel you do. And when everybody believed that it's a dog eat dog world, then competition is created. They make you believe that there's going to have to be a winner and a loser because they use their esophagus to tell you that. And then you use your esophagus to repeat it. And then you use your spirit and your soul to accept it. So you manifested it. That's all light magic. This is light magic. Making you get up every day and go to work and work a job. For what? What are you doing? You working a job because you feel like you need their money to do anything in this reality when you do not. All you need is you in the understanding of dark magic. And anything you want, you can literally get a piece of paper, write it down, put it around some crystals, light a candle, say it, let the candle burn down, and thus it shall be. Prosperity magic, basic 101. It'll never fail every time. Especially when you do it from a pure heart chakra, meaning so you don't think about no money. Let's talk prosperity magic. You don't think about no money. You set out to do something with a pure intent. And the money's going to come to you for that because your intent was pure. For example, when you walk in your purpose, everybody know their purpose. Everybody know what they great at. Everybody know what they came to do, but then you don't want to do what you came to do because you let family and friends talk you out of what you are here to do. That would be light magic that you fell for. But the dark magic would be for you to actually walk your spiritual path, do your divine purpose. And if you don't know your divine purpose, you're supposed to meditate. Meditation is a form of dark magic. You're going into the darkness. You're going into the dark matter energy, which is the essence from which all came. Because the darkness is a combination of all colors. Remember that. Dark magic. They tell you, though, that dark magic is bad and it's a bad thing. Black magic, dark magic is bad. That is light magic. They told you that you're going to die one day, and you believe it. So you believe that this is your only life. That's a ritual that you accepted. That's light magic. These are spells. Remember, for any form of magic requires what? The esophagus. This an organ. A magical organ. They tell you in the Bible, life and death is in the power of the tongue. No, it's not. It's in the vibration that comes from the esophagus. It's not the words that has the power. It's the vibration behind the words. Come from the esophagus. Anything they taught you, it required them to what? Say it. They gave it to you what? In school, right? And there was a teacher who did what? Spoke it. Any magic, that's why at the basis when we start this lecture, any form of magic is going to require the esophagus. Sound is vibration. Vibration is controlled by magnetism. This is magic. But then you have those who understand that and they use it for bad. So that's light magic. And those who use it for good, that's dark magic. So when I had mentioned the YP situation, let me give you an example. If somebody was to try to attack me and burn candles against me or send like death my way using their light magic, using spells to do that, because you can write a spell and then say it for anything. But because I'm divinely protected and I haven't sent any death toward your way, whatever you send my way is going to bounce off me and hit you tenfold because you sent that negative energy toward a divinely protected individual. Right? And I'm heavy into dark magic. I'm heavy into with the Orishas. Right? I'm a child of Mama Oya, Papa Ogun, Papa Shango, Papa Orula, and Papa Obatala. So if an individual was to concoct something toward me, it could come toward me, but it's going to melt off me and go back toward them tenfold. Right? And it might drive them crazy. Because they dealing in light magic. I'm dealing in dark magic. So when you bring that to me, it's not going to affect me. And then when I send it back, because as soon as I feel the energy, all I got to do is say return the sender. And it's coming back at you. Give a fuck who you is, where you at. It's coming for you. That's dark magic. Because my intent is pure. When I get on here and I give lectures, I really want to help my people. I really love the gods and goddesses. I'm really here to help you remember who you are. I've never called for nobody death. I don't burn candles on nobody. I don't go to my altar and wish death upon my enemies and none of that. I don't do none of that. My baby mama lied and put a fake case on me working with the elites, and I ain't do that to her. I don't have to. I'm going to move with a pure intent, and everything she sent to me going to triple at her. Remember, it's your intent, and your intent lies in your heart chakra. And the heart chakra is is directly connected to your esophagus, which is the main instrument used in magic. So now you can understand why they hit you with all them sing-alongs as a kid. Everything was a sing-along, right? When they want to get, they call them nursery rhymes. Why? Because when a word rhyme, that it's using the esophagus and a vibration. And nothing is more pure than when words rhyme, because that's harmony. That creates a harmony. And even when a singer hits a certain note, it's called a harmony. But you don't have to hit a note, because you could just make words rhyme. You could say chew and blue. That's harmony. Why? Because blue, chew, the vibrations match and they create harmony. So this is why nursery rhymes were so powerful rituals. This is how they get everybody to go back into the moon and when they leave and transcend the realm, because you gave that up when you cast that spell of yourself as a kid. Now that lay me down to sleep, da 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 dee. And then da 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 do I wake, da 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 take, right? It's the rhyming, it's the harmony, it's the vibration being used from the esophagus. And as a child, when you said it, you had the purest heart chakra, so it made it that much more powerful. You get what I'm saying? To activate it, you need the esophagus. But the intent is what decides on how powerful it's going to be. This is why if you go to any shamans or anybody that like to do any type of spiritual, magical work, voodoo, hoodoo, the first thing they're going to tell you is, I do not deal with calling for nobody death, but I will reverse a curse. I will reverse a hex. I will reverse a jinx. They're going to tell you that right away. Because you don't, magic is a powerful thing. Like, especially if you know what you're doing, you can take this herb and that herb and sit it on your little altar and write down what you want and then burn a candle. And based upon the color candle you burn, it impacts it too. They don't add no crystals to it because crystals amplify. Like clear quartz amplifies everything. Clear quartz going to amplify every crystal you got. To manifest, the best crystal to use is a clear quartz. That's what you use when you want to manifest shit, right? But it's so many other things required to practicing what they like to call voodoo, which is a form of dark magic. Haitian hoodoo or hoodoo in general, a form of dark magic. But guess what? If somebody was to take hoodoo and voodoo and start using it to make negative spells and rituals to hurt somebody, at that point, now that's light magic. Because remember, when you use this magic for good, it's dark magic. If you use it for bad, it's light magic. You should be using magic to create, to build the planet up like we did anciently. Not to try to get nobody back because he or she left you. Not to, he pissed me off, she pissed me off, so let me call on their death. Because when you do that, you're using the elements. The birthday cake, right? Remember I taught y'all this. Why do you think that? They told you to make a wish and then blow the candle out. Because when you make the wish, you're thinking it. So that's requiring electricity. Your thoughts are vibration. And then you affirmed it. But then you spell cast it when you said it. And then you have a fire and a candle that's burning down with your intent. And then you blowing. So that's air. You the soil, the avatar, the soil, come from the earth, from Kai. You got fire with the candle. You blow it out, that's air. And you got water in you. So you got all four elements right there in front of that birthday cake. And then you got plasma energy in you. So there go the fire. You see the star? Plasma energy, fire, earth, air, water. You blow the candle out. The whole birthday cake thing was a ritual. And that's why when you celebrate it and you come with the birthday cake and shit like that, goddamn it, we were participating in their time entrapment. All of us grew up with birthday cakes. And remember, what makes the spell the most powerful? The heart chakra. Because it's connected directly to the esophagus. And it sits right above the solar plexus. And nobody has a more powerful heart chakra than a child. So as a kid, celebrating them birthdays every year with them cakes, after so many celebrations, you don't even need to get the cake no more because you already, through repetition, have cast a spell upon your avatar forever. Unless you go back as an adult with an understanding of this and you do a separation, an energetic separance from those ancient spells you cast over yourself as a child with that birthday cake. That's how they got us to celebrate time, which is another spell, which is another form of light magic. So everything around you is either light magic or dark magic, but mostly 98% of what you see in this matrix is light magic. Worshipping celebrities as idols, light magic. Worshipping Jesus, Mary out it, light magic. Living in these prisms, light magic. All light magic. And the only thing that can defeat light magic is dark magic. So you have enchantments. An enchantment is different from a spell. Because the spell requires you to specifically write it out, verbalize it out loud, along with certain elements. An enchantment is a spell that was already pre-written out or pre-set in motion. And you don't have to write it out. You have to chant it. That's why they call it enchantments. You chant it. When you do chant, so you're still repeating and you're still using the esophagus, but it requires more of you to say it in a melodical tune, to chant it. These are enchantments and they are very, very powerful. So let me give you an example of an enchantment. They did one in Lion King. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no out in parade. It means no worries for the rest of your days. But what was they getting him to do? They was getting Simba to forget where he came from and to feel like you don't have to do nothing but just sit on your ass and enjoy these goddamn insects. They were enchanting that. So they were doing what? They were charming him. To be charmed is another form of an enchantment, which is another form of magic. So when you think of charm, you think like you got charm, like a charm you wear. And then you got charm, like to say something to somebody to make them smile, which will make you charming. Right? But nobody thinks about the actual to be charmed. It's like being bewitched. It's a form of magic. They even had a show back in the day called Charmed. They used to come on. And they did these little enchantments. You got enchantments, you got spells. You got jinxes. You got hexes, and you got curses. Gypsies are real individuals who have, through using certain concoctions, certain chemicals, because you got to have to use magic. I left that out. You got to know about chemistry too, because there's all type of chemicals you can use. Natural chemicals, natural elements, right? And you got these gypsies that they'll rub. They said they'll make an oil or something and rub it on themselves, and they just got to get around you. They just got to touch you. They can touch you and they'll jinx you because of the oils they have rubbed on themselves, which are already, these oils have already been enchanted over. Right? This is why it's not good to let anybody touch you, to shake anybody's hand, to give anybody a hug. Because if I want to jinx you or put a hex on you, I can act as a gypsy, create certain oils out of certain spices and certain plants, use my esophagus to cast my intent over these things, crush them, use some sage or some salt or whatever. Not salt, because I'm trying to hurt you. Salt is to push, is to cleanse. So I wouldn't use salt. I would use something totally different. And then I smash everything together and make an oil out of it. Rub myself down with the oil. I ain't even got to speak to you. I just got to get in your energy field and bump you or touch you or shake your hand. And there it go. This is real. And this will be a form of light magic. But this is what gypsies partake in. Right? This is what gypsies do. And if you're not divinely protected and connected to source, you're not taking spiritual baths because you are not aware of magic, you think it's fake, then you are susceptible to that and you're going to fall to that. Now, you might go through 7 years of straight bad shit, and that's why they got you thinking in good luck, bad luck. Because they've been using so much light magic on us for so long that they want you to believe that there's a such thing as good days and bad days, good luck and bad luck. That's not true. You got positive energy and negative energy. And if you got a lot of negative shit coming your way, then somebody has put something on you. They're burning candles on you. They have jinxed you. They have put a hex on you. Or they have cursed you. This is a fact. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to believe, just a bad day. It don't work like that. It don't work like that at all. This is the fact. This is light magic and dark magic. Like one of my people, right? They do spiritual speaking. They call themselves African healers and seers. They do ritual work, divination, and they produce spiritual products, right? That's one of their little cards, right? And they tell you right here on the back. Divination reads, bones, tarot. They work with water and fire rituals. They are in tune with the Orishas and Ashanti. They do protection baths, charm. They create charms and charm oils, protection herbs, and jewelry. And they tell you right away, we not working with you. Don't call us for no silly shit. Don't call us talking about we want to get somebody killed. We not doing that. You know why? Because this spiritual realm is a real thing. This ain't no joke. This is real. The work I do when I get online is real. Right there, I got these. So many crystals. And because the work I'm doing is real. I'm sitting here warring. Listen, I'm sitting here warring with real principalities. This ain't no joke. When I'm revealing certain downloads of information to you, for each and every soul I help unplug from the matrix, they come to try to attack me. Because I'm a chosen one. They know this is my vessel, but they know who I am in astral realms. Divine insight, 8th universe. That's one of them ones. One of the original 23 scientists. He back down here. Oh shit, we got to get at him. That's why they attack me like that. But they can only do shit like maybe play with my Instagram, play with my YouTube, stuff like that. But they can't take me out. Why? Because I'm protected. I have archangels protecting me. I have my Anunnaki gods and goddesses protecting me back home. Then I have the ones here like y'all that's here protecting me, right? Then I have the Orishas that's protecting me. I have animal spirits protecting me because I'm for the planet. I'm here to help heal the whole planet. I'm not here to hurt nothing. My intent is too pure. So I connect with the animals. I connect with the fire, the water, the elements. I connect with the gods and goddesses here in the flesh as well as the ones on different planets. But that's why I stay humble. I can't move like this isn't real spiritual warfare. Even when I decided to do this lecture on light magic versus dark magic, I'm still revealing a lot right now. If you listening and you grabbing, you should be able to take this and be able to take off. Like, okay, let me go ahead and start working my dark magic. Let me go ahead and set up my protection. Let me go ahead and I ain't got to work for this anything in the material realm. I can bring it toward me. All that chase it down shit comes from competition. But if you understand science and just the basic laws of physics, which is all a part of magic, right? You understand that unlike attracts and like repels. So whatever you chase is going to run from you. And whatever you act like you don't want is going to come to you. That's what you have to understand. So just from that, you should be able to, I already just put you on game about the clear quartz. It amplifies every other crystal. And it amplifies all your intent. You are electricity, so all you have to do is amplify that. Your thoughts the same. But if your intent is a negative intent, then you are now dealing in light magic. Okay? And light magic has no stands against dark magic. This is why they had to make you and I believe that magic wasn't real. Because if you do know, then you will be tapping into your dark magic and all of this shit wouldn't even be able to happen to us as a whole. So our ancestors knew this. This is why they was fucking them up in them revolutions. They don't want to talk about George Madison and revolutions that were won. They don't talk about the Haitian Revolution. They don't want to talk about Queen Nanny. Why? Because all of them tapped into those Orishas. These angelic forces within us and demonic forces within us. They got you thinking the demons is bad. No, the devils is bad. Those are the evils. That's a part of Satan and Lucifer's army, the fallen. Meanwhile, the demonic forces are the titans, the feminine energies in you. This is why they taught us the one of the biggest forms of light magic was to teach us to disrespect our goddesses. And they did that just by saying that God is a man. And that the woman came from our rib. That's all light magic. Just lying in itself is light magic. Lying is what? Deception. Deception is what? Tricknology. That was the biggest weapon used to divide us. Why do you think they lie about how the map look, where we come from, where we at, what we really are? That's all light magic. Because then you walk around like, oh, I'm a human being. And you say I. So I is the soul. Me is the ego. I is the soul. So when you say I, you now cast that ritual over yourself. Everything around you is magic. It's light magic versus dark magic. And the light magic only has been winning because they convinced us by killing off our ancestors, right? And putting that fear out there. Many of your ancestors didn't even pass these roots down to us about hoodoo, voodoo, and magic and dark magic. Because they put the fear in some of them to the point where they didn't want to see it happen to us, so they just stopped talking about it and teaching it. Now you look up 4-5 generations go by and you completely disconnected from your roots. And then they told you, don't get no orishas. That's evil. Don't be in there burning no candles and burning no sage, and that's all evil. Don't do that. That's black magic. And you believed it while they working their little weak ass light magic against you. That would have no chance of touching you if you tapped into your dark magic. We the ones, man. We the ancient beings. This our planet, our land, our everything. All of nature is waiting to connect with you. And they know it. So what they had to do, denounce everything that strengthened you so that they little weak ass light magic could work. Because it has no legs to stand on with us. None. None. That's what makes fear so powerful. Light magic. Rewind this over and over again, man. Don't let this be no lecture you just jump over. Even if you think you got it, trust me. Rewind it over and over again and really meditate on what I'm saying to you. The power right here in your hands. You got to tap back into the source. Dark magic. That's why I say go within. That's dark magic. Go within here. Ask yourself and it shall be revealed to you. It's okay to subscribe to the website and, I'm going to go ahead and pay the little $30 and subscribe and get the downloads, or I'm going to follow him on Instagram and get the downloads of YouTube. And yeah, it's okay to have a guide. I'll act as a spirit guide, but you don't need to do that. You don't have to do that because I've already told you before we ever had a website, go right here. It's no good for you to come to this website and subscribe and pay if you're not going to use what I'm telling you. You get what I'm saying? Use this shit. I'm living it in real life time. And I don't even show my altar publicly. I don't do none of that. But if the ancestors tell me, go ahead and let them get a sneak peek. So you can know I'm not just saying this, I'm living this. I'm not telling you nothing that you don't already know, and I'm not putting you in no position that's going to hurt you or harm you. If we was to use the dark magic, we take it over right here. We ain't got to do nothing physical. That's so beneath us. We are Sebis, spiritual electrical beings under investigation because we are rising in frequency. So we going back to the dark magic. Getting back in tune with source, our ancestors, right here. This is the true power. Start studying these plants. Start studying about the chemicals and the chemical reactions. It's not hard to do. You could just you could do that on your own. And just use your basic own intelligence. And you're going to whip up your own raw ass spells. You're more powerful than you could ever know. But the basis is understanding that magic is real and what it is. And that the biggest form, the biggest weapon used, the main ingredient, I should say, is the esophagus. And this ain't just a neck you got. This is where your vibration passed through. This is where your vibration passed through. But peace to the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai. I'm finna meditate myself right now. So I'm finna go within. And I know we got ages in here. We got 2,900 people watching. So I'm going to go ahead and sage. And sage is a plant. That's why it works. You need to be asking, how does sage work? But you got different sages that you use for different things, though. People just lighting the sage and blowing it. Sage is much more powerful than that. And you can make your own versions of sage. You don't need to go to the store. It gets deeper. But I'll see y'all right back here today. Later on today, we doing 40 acres and a mule.